a right to bear arms? The debate over gun control in America is one of the most heated and intractable in our society. Proponents of gun rights often cite the Second Amendment and the need for self-defense. Opponents point to the tragic toll of gun violence and the need for stricter regulations. This essay will examine both sides of this complex issue, exploring the arguments for and against gun ownership and the potential consequences for individuals and society. The argument for guns protection and deterrence. Advocates for gun ownership argue that firearms are essential for self-defense. They believe that an armed citizenry deters crime and empowers individuals to protect themselves and their families from criminals. In a dangerous situation, a gun can be the great equalizer, allowing a smaller, weaker person to defend themselves against a larger attacker. Furthermore, supporters argue that responsible gun ownership is a right, not a privilege. They point to the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution, which guarantees the right to bear arms. They believe that any attempt to restrict gun ownership is an infringement on this fundamental right. The case against guns, accidents, violence, and societal costs. Opponents of widespread gun ownership counter that the presence of more guns leads to more violence, not less. They point to the higher rates of gun violence in countries with more relaxed gun laws. They argue that the easy availability of firearms increases the likelihood of accidents, suicides, and impulsive acts of violence. Furthermore, critics argue that guns often escalate conflicts rather than resolve them. A heated argument can turn deadly when a firearm is introduced. They also raise concerns about accidental shootings, particularly involving children, and the use of guns in suicides, which account for a significant portion of gun deaths. Finding a balanced responsible gun ownership and public safety. The gun control debate is not about absolutes. It's about finding a balance between respecting individual rights and ensuring public safety. This requires a nuanced approach that considers the perspectives of both gun rights advocates and those who believe in stricter gun control. Education, responsible gun ownership, and common sense regulations can all play a role in reducing gun violence while respecting the rights of law-abiding citizens. Ultimately, the goal should be to create a society where everyone feels safe and secure, regardless of their stance on gun ownership. This requires open and honest dialogue, a willingness to find common ground, and a commitment to finding solutions that address the root causes of gun violence.